Payla, Hook, and Natasha are great characters to have duplicates for. Hook's dupes are very good. Payla's dupes are very good. Natasha's dupes are amazing. I love them because my Natasha has E6, and she hits like a motherfucking truck, and you get to see her ass naked at E6. Okay, Jing Yuan is going to be a very strong Electro character, as well as Su Sheng, one of the best physical DPS, as well as Ting Yuan, one of the best supports, and then you also have March 7th, who's one of the best shielders. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, why would you pull for Jing Yuan when Kafka's right around the corner? Well, as of today, we can confirm that Kafka is not going to at least be in 1.1 because the first character for the lineup of 1.1, and I'm going to save the surprise for the end, is Locha. Now, Locha, we've already tried firsthand, and Locha is a healer S. Now, here's what we might or may not know. Once again, they're not live, but this is what we think we know. We've tested him a little bit. So Locha has the highest attack base in the whole game, which is pretty dang good. Okay, and apparently he has an auto heal if the character gets below 50% that does not require a skill point. Maybe, but you can also use it, and if you use it, it dispels someone, something like that. But he does a whole bunch of damage. I think we really don't know. I try not to look into leaks when I saw this character, but just to give you an idea, he is going to be a healer type, which I'm excited about. Obviously, Locha, if you're a Honkai Impact, the third fan, shares a lot of similarities with Auto, who's known to be an anti-hero, and Locha gives me those same vibes. And what in the fuck is in that casket? To be honest, it's probably the hopes and dreams of all free-to-play players, as they know, well, they're not going to get Zila and Jing Yuan, which really fucking blows. But here's the thing. And here's what really confuses me here. Here's what really confuses me. You might be noticing how many tabs I have open. I don't just have one tab open. I have 3. So why, oh why, are there 3 banners open? And I'm not sure. Perhaps that means one of these characters is a 4-star, or maybe we're doing 3 banners for 1.1. We will find out, but the first banner will be Locha. I'm thinking he'll probably be paired with Sampo. And maybe like Don Hang and Asa or King Chua. Just complete guesses. Legit complete guesses. Not a leak, just complete guesses. And then next up, we have Silverwolf. Now, Silverwolf, we have a lot of quote-unquote data on. And Silverwolf is going to be one of the greatest debuffers I think that the game is ever going to make. I think she's going to be a double S-tier unit. I think she's going to be fucking insane. She has an ability that puts bugs on enemies where they reduce their attack, or the greatest debuff. I'm thinking, and here's what really confuses me. She's going to be legit complete guesses. Not a leak, just complete guesses. And then next up, we have Silverwolf. Now, Silverwolf, we have a lot of quote-unquote data on, and Silverwolf is going to be one of the greatest debuffers I think that the game is ever going to make. I think she's going to be a double S-tier unit. I think she's going to be fucking insane. She has an ability that puts bugs on enemies where they reduce their attack or their defense, or they do something else. And then she also has the ability to inflict their opponent by just looking at your allies and saying, oh, you have a quantum? Well, now the enemy's weak to quantum too, which is really good. She seems to be the real de facto piece for really wanting to brute force the game. Silverwolf may be your girl. Here's the other really cool thing. They have a massive single target damage nuke. And in this nuke, it defense breaks at the same time. Now, according to the things that I've seen, apparently the defense break happens at the same time as the damage, which means she herself gets the benefit of the damage break as well as the rest of your team, which is very good. So if you want to brute force shit, right? If you just want to use whatever comp you want and just slap Silverwolf in it and she'll make it work, you can do that, which I think is really cool. I think Silverwolf is going to be one of the greatest characters in the entire game, period. Who is she going to be paired with? I honestly don't know. I could probably see maybe Payla again. Herda, you know, maybe. I mean, we don't. The problem is that there's a very low character pool, so we're going to see a lot of repeat 4-stars. And that's why I am very concerned, because we do need more 4-stars in the game desperately. I would say we even need double the amount of 4 stars that we need right now. But if we know anything about Mihoyo, or Hoyoverse, they really like pumping out a ludicrous amount of 5 stars. That way free-to-play suffer. That way we have to pull. But there is one character left that could be a 4-star. I'm not sure. But according to my buddy OK Code, he heard and talked to somebody who had a dream, and apparently this next character is going to be very, very, very good. And this caught everybody by surprise. But apparently the last character is going to be Yukong. Now this is very shocking, because I was under the information that she wasn't going to come out until 1.2 or later. Here's what I know. She is hot as fuck. And she's with Tingyun in the photo. Now, I believe, because let's be real, apparently she is the tree of support, which I believe is called Nihility. Let me double check. She is the Harmony tree. And every single Harmony character so far has been very, very, very good. Asta's top tier, Tingyun top tier, Bronya's top tier. Now the question is, how good do we think she'll be? And I was told that people think that she's going to be as good as Jingyuan, which is pretty nuts, to be honest. That's a very, very, very big claim to make. But we're looking at this right now, and here's the big problem. I'm not sure if you noticed this. These are some of the best supporters in the whole game, because Silverwolf can support the team with a bunch of debuffs and by killing them. Locha can support the team by healing and by killing them. And Yukong can just actually do buffs. Now, why? Oh, why? Hoyoverse, you messed up, man. You accidentally put 3 of the best supports all on the same banner in the same patch. So what are all of us players going to do? They want you to be overwhelmed. They want you to panic. They don't want you to know what to do. And they are going to try to milk you dry of currency. Here's what I recommend. When 1.1 comes out, do not pull until the last couple days of each banner. That way proper testing can occur. So if you do care about the functionality of a unit a lot, then you'll know exactly how good they are. But as far as this goes, that's a lot of new characters, and maybe even some 4 stars as well on the horizon that will be coming to Honkai Star Rail very soon. And it's most likely coming in, I think people are predicting 35 days. So it's about 5 weeks, which is pretty bad. I think it's going to be a little bit earlier than that, because let's think here. So we have this banner done in 9 days, and then we have 3 weeks for the next banner. I think it's coming in 30 days. So 4 weeks and some change. But if we're very lucky, I think it'll be 23 days. Best case scenario, 23 days. Worst case scenario, 30 days. Either way, very, very, very good. New character on the horizon. Looking pretty good. I'm stoked. That's the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Get excited. And if you're free to play, be very careful. More videos to come, so that way y'all know who to spend your currency on. And we'll see which character I pick. To be honest, I don't think I'm getting any of them. But right now, I want Silverwolf the most. I want Silverwolf the most because I want to make Zila work everywhere, and I think Silverwolf is the key to do that. But that's just my opinion. See you on the next one, boys. Peace. I have been...
Alright, hello YouTube. Today we are going to do a general guide tip video. I'm gonna go through all of the stat in the stat sheet, and I'm gonna go through some UI or some interface features that allows you to play this game easier. I'll tell you what the game tells you, but like, I know most people don't read. So let's start with, I think, the most important question. And I feel like I listened to this question so many times. I'll get this out of the way first. What is a follow-up attack? A follow-up attack is quite simple. If your attack is a follow-up attack, the game tells you it's a follow-up attack. So for Clara, the counter-attack. A counter-attack is considered a follow-up attack. No way. So for March, she counter-attack, and the counter is considered a follow-up attack. For Himeko, the game tells you that it's a follow-up attack. For Herta, the game tells you that it's a follow-up attack. And for Yan King, the game tells you that it's a follow-up attack. Sealy, doesn't count as a follow-up attack. But I can tell you this funny little feature about Sealy. This extra turn is stupid. As it says here, it won't expand your remaining turn when taking action. So how this works is, you know the cookie cutter combo between Bronya and Sealy? Bronya buff only lasts 1 turn. However, when Sealy gets a kill and get her extra turn, she will still have Bronya's buff because this extra turn doesn't count as a turn. It essentially functions like your ultimate because when you use your ultimate, you skip turns. It's basically a cheat code if you want to maintain buff on your character for longer. Okay, next, break effect does not affect how fast you break the enemy shield. Okay, if you click this question mark button, break effects increase the damage you do upon weakness break, the damage you do on the damage over turn of that weakness break, or how far the enemy actions are delayed only. Alright, so what does that mean? When you weakness break an enemy, they take a huge chunk of damage and they get applied with a status effect, right? So if you weakness break with physical, they get bleed. If you get weakness break with fire, they get burn. If you get weakness break with ice, they get frozen. If you get weakness break with electro, they get shocked, right? So weakness break only affects the damage over time when you weakness break. All right, so this bar over here, it's called the action order. The number there shows the percentage you are to the next turn. If you reach 0%, you get to take a turn. Some character will have mechanics that allows you to like go above, technically below 0. So you take a turn first priority and using your ultimate will prioritize your turn before anything else, right? Speed as a stat determines how fast you move on this action order itself. So the faster your speed, the faster you move on this action order. So if I were to break this guy's shield, 929 break damage, and his action order got delayed. And 432 bleed damage, okay? I'll try to run break effect. This gives me only 10% more break. So if I were to hit this, how much damage would a break do? 998 break damage. We went from 40% break to 50.3% break, right? And now I want to see the dot. And the bleed is now 476, okay? And it affects how far enemy actions are delayed as well. But to get this higher, you need a lot of break effect, which generally isn't worth it unless you're playing Asta. Weakness break damage is also based on the enemy max health. So the higher HP the enemy is, the more damage weakness break does. Okay? Alright, so now we go for how damage works in this game. So, everyone knows about your attack, yes? Your attack is that number. How you do damage is if your skill scales off attack, it's gonna tell you the skill scales off attack. No way. If your skill scales off HP, it's gonna tell you it scales off HP. Unless you want to build DPS Natasha, then your basic attack scales off HP. But yes, that is the baseline, okay? So now I will be very professional here. So your base damage is going to be equal to your attack times your skill modifier, yes? So for example here, we have 1400 attack and our skill modifier is 80. So how much damage would it do, chat? It's gonna do a lot of damage. That is true. It's gonna do a lot of damage. Now, there's something more. There's something in this game called damage modifier. So it's one of these like physical damage boost, ice damage boost, lightning damage boost, something like this, which gives you basic and skill damage boost, right? So now you put these here and you multiply this by 1 plus damage bonus. So that's gonna be the base damage formula, okay, chat? And the next step we go is we're gonna go for the big number. If your attack crit, it's going to be the base damage multiplied by 1 plus your crit damage. Like that, yeah? Does that make sense yet? Is the math thing? This is the simplified version without taking into account the enemy defense and resistance, okay? If you have 1000 attack and your skill modifier is 1.1, that's gonna be 1/100, right? For your damage bonus, if you were to have 48.8% physical damage boost and you're using an item like subscribe for more, you get 48% more basic attack and skill damage. If you were to use your basic attack and skill, it's gonna be 48.8 plus 48, right? 100 times 1 plus 0968, okay? Are we catching up here? Color them code? Oh my fucking god. They're colored now. Are we good? So now that is going to be your base damage, right? And if you want this to be crit, it's going to be this number times 1 plus your crit damage, right? I have 64.5, okay? Which means that's going to be your final damage, okay? This is assuming the enemy defense and resistance are 0. Obviously, they'll take less damage if they have defense and shit, right? And they will. So this is like the baseline on how you calculate the damage formula, okay? Essentially, the damage formula of this game is the same with the damage formula in Genshin, okay? The only difference is we get less stats here than in Genshin. Because this is how the formula works, attack is going to be the least important stat. Get a lot of attack bonus randomly anyways. It's generally not worth stacking super high attack. You want to stack damage bonus or crit damage if you crit, right? Obviously for crit damage you need crit rate as well, yeah? In Genshin Impact, the maximum crit rate and crit damage roll per relic is 3.9 crit rate and 7.8 crit damage per roll. In Honkai Star Rail, it is 2.9 crit rate and 5.8 crit damage maximum per roll, which means the average of Star Rail crit rate and crit damage is going to be lower. So is the damage bonus. Damage bonus is 46.6 versus 38.8, right? I don't think MiHoYo needed to make a new damage formula, okay? The other one works, it's fine. Generally, if you are an attack scaler, you would want 120% of the base attack number. For crit rate and crit damage, you want them to be in a 1-2 ratio, which I'm not really doing here. So for example, if I have 60 crit rate, I should have 120 crit damage, and damage bonus, get as much as you can. That is going to be the basics of it. In Genshin, crit damage falls off at around 180, but since we get less stats in Star Rail, crit damage should fall off at around 150. In Genshin, damage bonus falls off at 150, but in this game it should fall off at 130%. Damage bonus is equal to like every single damage bonus you accumulate. So if you were to have physical damage bonus and like an all damage bonus and a normal attack damage bonus, you add them all together when you're doing normal attack, okay? The reason why numbers fall off at a certain percentage doesn't mean they fall off completely. It depends on how rolling stats on your gear work. You only have so many stats you can roll on your gear, and if you roll too much of a single stat, you hit diminishing return because you can improve your damage by investing to another stat, you know? Like if you stack too much attack, it doesn't do more damage than a well-balanced build. Opportunity cost is a better word for it. Okay, the damage you do is also based on the enemy level. But this isn't accurate because we have 10 less levels than in Genshin. Unless it really is the same, but the damage you do is affected by your level versus the enemy level. I hope that explains damage, okay? Okay, so energy is quite an easy one to explain. If you have the baseline energy regeneration rate of
Hi. You haven't changed a bit. I'm sorry you have to see me in such a sorry state. Concerned about me? I'm fine. The Cienjo is always courteous with its captives. I didn't talk to you on the train because I knew you and I would get to talk alone here. Worth waiting for, don't you think? You seem to have a lot to ask me. and changed a bit. I'm sorry you have to see me in such a sorry state. Concerned about me? I'm fine. The Cienjo is always courteous with its captives. I didn't talk to you on the train because I knew you and I would get to talk alone here. Worth waiting for, don't you think? You seem to have a lot to ask me. We're here for you. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? It's no wonder Fushen doesn't believe it either. But the Matrix of Prescience doesn't lie. The answer is just that bizarre. The Stellaron hunters appearing here, Blady getting arrested, me being lured to the Matrix of Prescience. It was all to bring you, the Astral Express crew, to the Cienjo. In the future that Elio chose, the power of the hunt is indispensable. And that's why the Astral Express crew had to come to the Luofu and achieve something important for the Cienjo. You had to establish a connection with the Alliance. And that's why I had to trick you into coming here. I needed you to meet the Luofu's general in person and to help him resolve the Stellaron crisis. I needed the Alliance to owe you a favor. That way, in the future, at the most critical moment, the Cienjo will offer you their help. What do you think? Surprised? The notorious Stellaron hunters did all that just to make you a hero of the Cienjo? Quite the plot twist, don't you think? Like I said, Elio withheld key pieces of information from me. The future holds endless possibilities, and knowing the right thing at the wrong time could spoil all our hard work. There is only one thing I can tell you about the future. In the best and the worst cases, you will eventually have to face Nanook the Destruction. And when that time comes, you will need all the help you can get. It will be a brutal struggle of eonic proportions. Proportions that neither you, nor I, nor the Astral Express will ever be able to reach. In the vast majority of futures, that's when destiny ends. But if we follow Elio's plan, there may be a glimmer of hope on the horizon. You know, even eons can be killed. You know, even eons can be killed. Are you kidding? That's not what we want. I just want to tell stories from the past. Stories about eons that have fallen. Lon the Permanence, Drilla the Beauty, Anna the Order, Tazeronth the Propagation, Akivili the Trailblaze. These names were once known all over the universe. Now they've all but disappeared, leaving behind only masterless paths. And currently, there are 3 ways an eon can perish known to humanity. 1. Paths with overlapping concepts will eventually collide, and the broader path will engulf the narrower one. That's how Enna the Order was assimilated by Shipe the Harmony. 2. In a war between eons, the stronger side will annihilate the weaker one. That's how Tazeronth the Propagation fell. Under the guidance of the Hunt, the Cienjo Alliance travels the universe exterminating abominations cultivated by the Abundance. So, the Xianzhou too are engaged in this process. As far as I know, the predecessors of the Alliance were the Elixir Seekers. They searched for Yaoshe and longed for the blessing of immortality. When they eventually found the Aeon, they received the blessing that did indeed prevent death, the Ambrosial Arbor. But immortality turned out to be a curse for the Xianzhou. That's when the hunt appeared, firing an arrow and felling the Ambrosial Arbor. Ever since, the Alliance has followed the hunt in pursuit of Yaoshe, erasing the curse of immortality from the universe along the way. What do you think? Fascinating stories.
Passengers, the warp navigation meeting has officially begun. Firstly, Pom-Pom wants to congratulate you, the Nameless, for successfully resolving the problems at this stop. The Express is now able to continue along the Star Rail.
The three of us actually pulled it off, huh?
It's time for your conductor, that's me, to reveal the name of our next stop.
Long time no see, Astral Express crew. It's Kafka. I came at a good time. You're all here. Every single one.
No need for the mysterious introduction, Stellaron Hunter.
Himiko, correct? Apologies for interrupting your little get-together, but I'm sure once you've heard my request, you'll forgive me. I'd like you to make a destination alteration.
I've seen your face before, Stellaron Hunter. Even if it was only on a corporation wanted poster. They were offering quite the bounty. Dead or alive. Do you know the figure?
Doesn't concern me. Then again, a corporation bounty is a compliment, not an insult, don't you think? The higher the figure, the bigger the compliment.
You wanted criminals sure know how to look on the bright side of things.
I will say, Herta certainly paid you all a compliment. A maniac that claims he can see destiny, leading a bunch of wild lunatics in pursuit of the most dangerous objects in the universe. And Herta doesn't give out compliments very often.
In pursuit of the most dangerous objects in the universe, huh? Well, in that sense, you Astral Expressers and I are cut from the same cloth.
You're in the wrong place, Kafka. We're not about to accept your request, and we're not about to get into bed with a Stellaron Hunter. It was nice talking with you. Perhaps next time you'll be willing to pay us a visit in person, and we can continue our little discussion.
Eradicate all threats to Belobog security. That is what I must do.
Okay, Bronya. Okay, calm down on this. You know what? How far can she walk, guys? How far? How far will she walk? How far is she gonna walk for? if I don't press the X button, is she gonna walk? Oh, she stopped. Let me walk off dramatically. Shit, I've run out of pathway to walk.
I literally beat like everything I possibly can. I don't quite have enough talents and traces to push further in the Forgotten Hall. I've unlocked the refreshing stuff in the Forgotten Hall, and I've got 10 days to potentially get some currency from that. But the account is like pretty much as far as we can get right now in the game. I don't have anything to do. I literally don't have anything to do. I've done every quest available currently. I've done the daily quests. There's some quests that refresh and you can go back and do them later, or like replayable things, and I've already done those. There's those little those Rubik's cubes, and they refresh. All of them refresh. I've went and done those. I've done everything I possibly can do on this account. I even went and talked to this food stall over here to get enough currency to buy the wish out of here. There's no more wishes to unlock. I've done all the simulated worlds. I am now at the stage in the game where the only thing to do is wait for my energy each day and spend my resin, which is fine. I could do some achievement hunting type stuff, like if I desperately wanted to, I could do some achievement hunting. But for the most part, the account is done until new content comes out. So here's what we're gonna do: is we're gonna go over what this account looks like right now. It's so lucky that it's almost like tainting my view of the game a little bit. Like I don't know how hard content really is, and I'm considering making like an off meta account or like 4-star only, where I'm building like March 7th. This chick is free to play. He's free to play. Hurt is free to play, and just building some of these units, kind of thing. But I don't know if that will burn me out or how long that will last. I really don't know. I have no idea what that would look like, and if I'm just going to tilt. But let's look at my account right now and discuss what we've got. So, Trailblazer, very good. Would recommend to literally anyone. Would recommend to anyone. My light cone is day 1 of a new life. Seems pretty good overall. Gives you some defenses. But there's some other low-level light cones that are pretty insane. You can get like 64% defenses, which is really good for this unit, on a 3-star light cone. So there are some good options. Traces leveled up pretty good, but I have some more that I could get. Eidolons, I saved all my currency to buy all the Eidolons. And so I'm at Eidolon 5 on Fire MC. Very good character. My Sela is Eidolon 2. Somehow, just with insane luck. I don't know why or how this is even possible, but it happened. Because I got this insane speed boost, I also decided to go for her light cone because it scales with speed, and I ended up getting it. So a recap for anyone who may have missed it. On the banner, I was doing a couple pulls the other day, and someone said, "I'll sub to you if you pull," and so I did. There's one, and that was the E2. But before that was even luckier. That's the craziest thing. Is we got we got 2 5-stars essentially back to back. And before this Bailu, it was like 20-something pity, 22 pity, is when we got our last one. So 22 pity later, or 24 pity later, we got another Sela with Bailu. It's just crazy. And then on the weapon banner, we got the weapon in 7 So this account is kind of dumb. Like, it truly is dumb. And so I'm going to be holding on to some of my wishes for later and get a new 5-star character. But the idea is she's just going to carry so hard and one-bang everything. But I have, like, no good relics on her, really. I've just got these beginner relics. This is from the very beginning. This I got recently. All of these things are not that great, and she's still destroying everything right now. Can use her for farming. My Bailu has a couple little healing things that I got for free. She's using Quid Pro Quo. I got this to drop from one of the bosses, and then I got a couple superimpositions. The other thing, too, is she is E1 as well. So she has E1, which gives you a bunch of energy, which is pretty cool. And so between her light cone and this energy generation, my team is able to use their ultimates quite a bit. I've got a Tingyun, not really built up, haven't really focused on her. I will definitely put some time into her later. I just haven't yet. We've got Welt, level 60, light cone, level 60. It's got a chance to ensnare as well as decrease defenses. I'm pretty happy with Welt. I like this character quite a bit, and I'm glad that I have him on the account. No Eidolons on him, and my relics, like, no one has relics. Like, they're all, like, pretty much naked relic-wise. I just don't have anything going. Clara, we went and got the Destruction Light Cone from the Simulated Universe, and she's E1. She does pretty good. I think the better light cone is probably the Hunt light cone overall, but on her it is pretty good. People are saying this is a bad light cone. Whenever you counter, it counts as an attack, and so you can stack up this attack very quickly, and then if you break shields, you get this damage bonus. It's not amazing, but whatever. I'm going to take it. It works. It is what it is. We've got Sampo taken up to level 50. We've got the Fermata light cone for more break effect, as well as this wind shear bonus and damage over time bonus. No Eidolons for Sampo. We've got 2 Eidolons for Hasta la Vista, and these are pretty valuable light cones overall, giving you an extra skill hit as well as keeping your charge stacks. So she's able to boost my team's attack and speed really nicely. We've got Pela, and Pela's E6. And so we're probably going to build her and get some damage. I think we're going to build her as like a sub DPS unit, and I'm actually, one day, I'm going to build a ton of damage on her, because this gives you a bunch of bonus damage based on her attack. This one here shreds their defenses, so you can hit harder. She can get another energy boost here if she kills units, and because of this scaling, like, she will hit hard. And if you really want to benefit, you want to get the kills and the defeats, and then you can just keep ulting over and over again with her. And so I want Pela to pop off, and we're going to build her eventually. Natasha is unbuilt, but we literally just got 2 Eidolons for her, and I will build her eventually because I know she's pretty good, but we've got E4 on Natasha. I feel like my Eidolons have been very, very, like, focused into a couple particular units, and some of that is just wishing on the Sela banner doing that. March 7th, nothing. I will build, because this synergy is amazing. I just haven't done it yet, but I will do this. You shield up Clara, it taunts the enemies towards her, and then she just pops off, but I just haven't done it yet. So we will build March 7th. Qing Chui, whatever her name is, I haven't built her. I haven't built Serval. I don't think I have any Eidolons on these characters. Oh, I got 1 Eidolon on these ones. I've got 5 of them on Herta, because I think I've got a couple dupes. Nothing. 3? Okay, 3. And nothing. And so these characters are all unbuilt. There's not much more to say there. Now, one more thing we need to discuss is, if you look at the 5 stars, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we do have some light cones as well. We've got 8 and 9. We have 9 total 5 stars on the account this early. Again, I mean, people probably know this or should know this. I didn't buy the supply pass. I have not bought any of these. There's no